I'm going to be washing my Corvette today, and I wanted to try out a few new products. And the first product is going to be this Ultra Safe sponge from the Rag Company. I really love their products. They're not a sponsor, unfortunately, but everything that I've bought from them has been great, so I have a lot of high expectations. Then for the shampoo, our friends at the Final Details were kind enough to send me their soap, which they do say is compatible with foam guns and lances. And then after the wash, I want to try out the ceramic gloss from DIY Detail. These guys were also kind enough to send me this bottle, and we'll see how it works as a drying aid. And for the last product of the day, I want to try this Obsessed Garage tire dressing on my tires. I am using the MJJC Foam Cannon S V3. It dissolved very easily. That's kind of cool. I hope it makes big suds. I've got the Detail Guardz Dirt Lock in here, which is a really cool grit guard that prevents recirculation of all those gross particles in there. This one actually works really well. Very cool design. And here is the sponge from the Rag Company, and wow, it truly is soft. I wasn't sure how soft it was gonna be, but I'm not worried about this scratching the car. What I like to do when I get started is to cover the car in shampoo, let it soak for a bit, dwell, and then rinse it off to get some of the debris off the car. The car is pretty clean today. You could honestly use an O&R for this. And we'll kind of adjust the dial and see where it creates nice suds and how much we can back it up. It doesn't feel like very thick soap, not as thick as I get with some other products that I use, but it looks like it'll dwell really well. Hopefully you guys see all that dirt over here. I am using this Merolex sprayer, and it's Adam's wheel wash in here. This is still the blue stuff. It's a little older than their new formula. I was just talking to Chris at Adams, and he says the new formula is even better. It's the teal colored one. Blast these off and see how pretty they look. That really came out nice. Now that I've washed the wheels, you can see the shampoo is no longer dwelling. I'd say it lasted maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And of course, because it's May, it's not super hot out here yet, but it is, a little warm. Obviously, it's best to avoid working in the sunlight, but again, it's not that bad yet. That Adams Graphene Advanced is still working great over a year later. So basically, from covering the car twice, I've run out of shampoo. It just seems like you need a lot of shampoo to be coming out with the water in order to get anything like a thick sud. The lubricity between the shampoo and the sponge seems pretty good. I like the ergonomics of the sponge. It's easy to hold with this kind of hourglass shape, and your fingers kind of go around. Sometimes regular pads really feel like they're gonna slip out of my hand. And I think this texture really helps contour around things. Pretty clever. I'm gonna throw another ounce or two of this in the bucket. Way better having added more soap. This design is easy to clean on this Detail Guardz. It's got this grate in it, as well as a pump in the bottom, and it traps all the dirt. Run it against the grate and it gets all into this. Cool design, I definitely like the sponge. And when it comes to the shampoo itself, it feels a little generic as far as the performance. So we're gonna try this out. The car isn't perfectly dry. There are still spots. I just blew a lot of the big stuff off. Really cleaning up that windshield from the remaining drops. And I get the feeling that even just spritzing it works pretty well. I think spritzing may make more sense when the surface is already dried up a bit. I'm starting to like this. And they do say it'll add ceramic protection. One cool thing about this product that I've noticed is that it doesn't really streak or anything. So verdict on the ceramic gloss, I think it's really good. I love how streak-free it is, how easily it cleans up. I haven't tested how good the performance is in terms of protection. We can try that out and see if there's meaningful last-up protection being left behind in a future test. However, just for this use case today, as a detailer and as a drying aid, I think it works very well. It's time to try out the Obsessed Garage tire dressing, and I'm just gonna apply it with a pad. I'm not gonna use a brush. I really like the pad application better when I'm doing tires. The instructions tell you to apply it and let it set for 10 to 15 minutes. While that tire dressing sets, you can work your way around the car and clean up any remaining water spots around the wheels. And now I'm knocking down leftover tire dressing, so we're getting a much more matte looking finish. I think this looks really good. We've got the car back there and it is looking fantastic. I want to recap the products I tested today, and I think the Final Detailer soap that I tried, it was okay. It didn't really blow me away. I think it's probably a decent, kind of generic type of shampoo. I think you need to dose it more heavily to get the right suds out of it. Overall, it's not that it's bad or anything, there's just not a whole lot to write home about. It worked like a shampoo. I think maybe just they need to relabel or something, increase the dosing a little bit. And that Rag Company sponge I thought was fantastic. Those guys really knocked it out of the park. It is indeed very soft. I felt like it was very safe to use on my car. Wouldn't hesitate it to use on really soft paint like the Corvette has. And I know a sponge is kind of a simple thing, but it does make sense to use something that's high quality. I also really liked how easy it was to hold because of that hourglass type of shape. You really get your hand around it. The DIY detail ceramic gloss was also pretty good. In fact, it may be one of my favorite quick little detailers with some protection built in. It really made it very easy to remove from the paint. I thought one big aspect that is often overlooked by some of the quick detailers is how hard it is to remove streaking if you over apply. With this, whether I put it in the towel or sprayed it directly on the car, I really didn't have any trouble. So I can definitely see this being a staple in the future for me. And then moving on to the Obsessed Garage tire dressing, I also really like that product. I thought very little went a long way. And also I like that it didn't come out super slick and wet looking. I'm not a fan of that. I do like it to kind of look dark and a little bit shiny, like more heavy than a lot of people who want like a very matte finish. This still, at least right now, maybe it'll still dry up over a few hours, to me is pretty much perfect. Even if it dried back a little bit, it would still be great. If you want to try out any of these products from the video, there are affiliate links down below in the description. And of course, if you do like the content, remember to hit like, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and leave me a nice comment down below.